What's going on YouTube? Back with another video, and today I was going to talk about my diet philosophy, which came off the back of a conversation that I had with a lady at work who's doing her nutrition degree. It went a little bit along the lines of, hey Paul, how is it that you're eating all of this fat and all of this protein and all of these calories, and every week you're getting leaner? Like, what is it? What are you doing? I want to know about that, because what they teach you in school, I'd imagine, is that you're supposed to be following the food pyramid. You're supposed to be having lots of carbohydrates, lots of lean protein, lots of fruits and vegetables. And I was kind of telling her that I've tried that. I've tried giving people diets using that methodology, and they fail almost every time, because it's a lot of work to be tracking your calories every day, making decisions at every meal about which kind of carbohydrate I'm going to have and which protein I'm going to have. The fact that you are eating carbohydrates all the time leaves a lot of people hungry all the time. You know, when you eat ultra low carb, you're generally not very hungry. Your blood sugar is stable. If you do it long enough, you'll be producing ketones, which, from my understanding, blunt your hunger. And it just makes the process, I should say, sustainable, which was one of the points that she was saying that is against an ultra low carb diet. You know, she was of the opinion that if you're eating like that, eventually you're gonna not be able to do it anymore, just because it's not fun. But isn't that the case with any diet that you do? You know, even if you're following the paleo diet, there's going to be a time where you're like, I want some ice cream, or I want a pizza with pepperoni and all this other good stuff. So what's the difference? Any diet that you stop doing and going back to eating how you were, if that was eating like a pig, then you're going to go back to being a pig. So for me, it's more about, what's the goal? The goal's fat loss. What's the easiest way, or how can I stay on track for the longest time and get results over a period of time? And for me, that is the low carb diet. I eat ultra low carb, and whenever I'm feeling flat, or whenever my muscles need carbohydrate, I'll add them in like a tool, you know. Another thing that happens is people go on diets and they're tracking macros, and the results are very slow. You know, you're eating 200-300 grams of carbohydrates a day. I know, it's not real weight, but you're going to probably, if you have a metabolism like me, you're probably going to be holding on to a lot of water. So whereas if you start a low carb diet, that first week you might drop 2 or 3 kilos, start feeling fantastic. And when you feel fantastic, you're more motivated to continue. If you also think about what is our natural state as humans, you know, if you take away society the way we know it, and you plant yourself somewhere in a tent in the bush, what are you going to eat? How were we designed to eat? Probably we were made to live off animals. You know, that's what I think. We'd be walking around and we'd be catching rabbits, we'd be catching fish. Fruit would be seasonal. You know, where I live, good luck growing outside of 2 months of the year. There is nothing. So I think our natural state is an ultra low carb diet, where we are using fat for fuel primarily, and then when it's available is when we would eat those carbohydrates, and we probably eat them in large amounts, and then we wouldn't eat them anymore. So this diet for me is quite sustainable. I think it's the way that we were supposed to eat. What I'm doing with it is a little bit different because I'm trying to gain muscle and train like a maniac, you know, doing weightlifting and Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu and things like that, which are very taxing. Probably not what we were designed to, or what we would be doing if we lived in the middle of nowhere, right? We'd probably, we wouldn't be lifting weights and expending that much energy, but which is why I add the carbohydrates in. I found that's where the sweet spot is recently. And by doing so, I've been able to hold on to a lot more muscle this time around and lose fat almost as quickly. I think the last time that I did it, I was dropping weight very fast, but I was also sort of getting skinny. But I wasn't happy with the amount of muscle that I was holding on to, just because I couldn't train as much. So yeah, ultra low carb for the win, in my opinion. After this little rant, I'm gonna just show a few progress shots, just because I realized in the first one I didn't show you guys how I was looking. So after this, just a little showcase of where I'm at the moment. I weighed in at 103.7. I think that was yesterday maybe. So the scale is going down. Probably not going to notice much of a change until I break that 100 kilo mark, but yeah, everything is on track. I'm having a blast with it, and yeah, if you guys are interested in getting in shape and something you always wanted to do but you've just never really sort of had any success with it, try this diet. Provided, you know, you are healthy. You know, I'm not anyone to sort of prescribe something online, but provided it's okay with you and your doctor, I guess that's what they say, have a crack at it. Stop eating carbohydrates. Stop getting up in the morning and having cereal or toast, you know. Give your body a chance to release those fat stores. You know, substitute the cereal for some scrambled eggs, maybe a bit of cheese. When everyone's going to Macca's at lunch, just eat the meat patty. You know, eat the meat patty and the cheese. Doesn't matter if there's a little bit of sauce on it. And let me know how you go with it. You know, if you throw in some resistance training or even just start walking, you know, you'd be amazed at what you could do. I think that's all I have to say. If you like these videos, please like them, because it's a sign to me that I should keep making them and continue with this channel. And if there's anything in particular that you want to see, let me know and I'll do it. Thanks for watching.